The University of Oregon is located in Eugene, a city of 80,000 people, situated in the lush Willamette River Valley, midway between Cascade Mountains and the Pacific Ocean.
Touchdown, Stewart. Yeah, I got your speed right here.
Hey, ball corner 10, outside five. Are you kidding me?
I'm really proud of where this team's at. We got a lot of work to do.
What's the deal, Doug family? I am Kenjon alongside Jay Stu. We want to welcome you to another episode of the Ducks of a Feather podcast. We got a whole lot in store for you today. We're going to take a look at some top plays. We're going to jump into some game review, and we're going to jump ahead to this upcoming game against Wisconsin. Stu, how we doing, baby?
I'm doing good, bro. How you?
Blessed, highly favored. Woke up on top of the dirt, and the dirt not on top of me, so it's a good day, okay?
I hear you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, we got some flock talk. We're going to dive into the archive a little bit through this episode. We got a whole lot in store for you. But let's jump this thing off with some top plays from last week's game versus Maryland.
Okay, first play. We got Jordan Birch coming on the left side, blind side. And yes, the quarterback was strong side, left side. Basically, the quarterback was blind to the fact that Jordan Birch came to play ball.
How could you be blind? You got to know where that man is.
You got to know where he is at all times.
At all times.
But strip sack, just a complete play. Anytime there's a ball on the ground, it's always good to be in position to be able to make sure you scoop and score. We always say scoop and score, but that ball bounced right into his hands. It was like it was supposed to happen.
Listen,
so
he couldn't have took a better bounce.
right. So BJ, man, good job, man. Scoop and score, finishing the route, looking back at number, whoever that is, Hero. I don't know what that number was. Their jerseys look kind of whack. The numbers are hard to tell.
It would be disrespectful.
What is that? Number 0?
It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter.
Boy, if you were 0, you need a hero. That boy was moving like he was in slow motion. All right, next play, baby.
Next up, we got DG kind of resetting the pocket, moving to the left, creating room and creating some more space and time. Then we got T. Ferg coming along that backside of the end zone, being aware of his foot placement, catching the ball, perfect placement, perfect catch, touchdown. Can't get no better than that. Shout out to DG, shout out to T. Ferg. Two guys continually show up, continue to perform.
And that offensive line for holding their blocks. I mean, he had a lot of time to move around that pocket back there.
Got 10 seconds to throw the ball. I feel like that's Tom Brady back there.
Yeah, Tom just doing his thing. All right, next, the audacity here to call a fake punt on your own 20-something yard line, 23-yard line, 22-yard line, whatever you want to call it. It was a bold move. But when you have a guy like
Cotton, that's a bold move, Cotton.
when you got Jordan Birch back there lined up in special teams, you got no choice, almost, right? Especially when you playing Maryland. A little Terp.
Dude, that's 300 pounds moving like that, my guy. My guy was moving.
Yeah.
Listen, I was up in the booth. I had to do a double take. I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
Who is that? That's a big running back. We don't. That's Birch.
Yeah, looking like LeGarrette Blount out there running.
Boy, listen, breaking tackles, making people miss, getting his legs up. The boy, might have to put the ball in. Put him on the other side of the ball. Get him some
running back.
Look at him. He moving.
Yeah.
Quick feet. Stiff arm.
Like number 42 got up looking at his elbow after he got done getting rumbled over on the watch. Number 42, where you at? I did my job. Oh, my elbow. Oh, scraped it. Let me get up.
And
shout out to Dan Lanning for just being a savage.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Jordan Birch, fake punt. Nicely ran, really well executed. You got the whole, look at number 70 running his tail off, not blocking nobody, but he's just out there. Look, that's so good. Just, it's all about the facade sometimes, man.
You know what? Let's move on. Up next, baby, we got Janoris Wilson. Getting one for the big boys. You know what I'm saying? They don't get a whole lot of love. They don't get too much shine. So this was a huge play, not just for the D-line, but for the O-line as well. You can tell how they celebrating. Watch my guy high point the ball. High point the ball, keep his balance, get in that end zone, You know one, get one for the big guy. Shout out to Janoris.
Yeah, man. Janoris Wilson with the thick six. And this was
Huh?
Dylan Gabriel's
With the thick who?
the
What'd you
thick
call it?
six. The thick six. Yes.
Hey,
Yeah, boy, big out there, ain't he?
you called it a thick six?
That's what it says on the doggone lettering here.
Thick six, huh? Who wrote this? I don't know who wrote this. We need to have a conversation.
But that was Dylan Gabriel's record touchdown throw.
Yeah, shout out to DG, man.
What better way to do that by rewarding the offensive line, with the touchdown and just saying thank you for getting me to this point. That's a selfless act right there.
Man, shout
I
out
would
to my
like to
guy.
know the details. I would like to know the details of how that play was called and how it was drawn up. Like, did Dylan Gabriel ask for that play?
If he did, he called for it. If that's the play he asked for, and that he called for that. Salute you, my guy.
Dude, we might need to get him on here to talk about it.
All right, let's get to the next one, baby.
All right, follow it up with another big man, Josh Connerly, 2-point conversion. Just a direct snap, a little fake jet, and then he runs to the right, following the rest of the
Listen, the big boys got his legs out the way, didn't take no hit, got in the end zone. Listen, the big boys had a game, okay?
Yeah. Big boys came to play, man. They don't just block around here in Oregon. Josh Connerly showing what he can do with his feet. He must have played running back when he was in middle school.
Damn, not even high. I had to take you back to middle school, huh?
I'm just saying, dog. He looking nice.
Right.
Got his pad level down.
Yeah, he was in there. But
got the ball high
that's the top
and tight.
plays. Shout out to all those guys making plays, making huge plays in a game where really the offense wasn't really clicking the way we're accustomed to seeing it. So shout out to special teams stepping up, Burt stepping up, all the big boys getting there, touching paint. Shout out to you guys. So Oregon got the dub, 39-18. DG was 23 for 34, 183 yards, 3 touchdowns, becomes the FBS all-time leading scorer in total touchdowns. Shout out to him again. Noah Whittington, again, continually show up, turning in the right direction, 13 carries for 77 yards. Me being at the game, I was walking back to my car, and I had to walk through kind of the tailgating area, and some fans stopped me and asked me, what do you think about the game? I was like, it was trash. It was awful. This was a terrible game. And today I kind of had the epiphany. I had to kind of treat this game, in a relationship when things get hard and you guys are arguing, sometimes you got to take a breather. Sometimes you can't respond right away. Sometimes you got to let time go by so you could really evaluate and not say anything that you'll end up having to apologize for or kind of rehash.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me, I was like, okay, a couple of days went by and then I reevaluated the game and went to it. I was like, you know what? This wasn't a trash game. It wasn't the performance that we wanted from the offense, but
the defense played their part.
Right. Defense definitely did their thing. But when you're the number one team in the country, when you're the number one team, you have to find ways to win games. You have to be able to struggle through games. And again, I'm a real fan. And so sometimes I view these games from a non-realistic standpoint. But obviously, us playing in college, playing at the high level, we know every game isn't pretty. Every game isn't going. There's going to be teams that you're supposed to blow out that you don't. And then there's going to be people that you shouldn't blow out that you do. That's just the nature of football. And so I also have to remember that those guys on the other side of Maryland, they're getting coached too. They're one player, so they're coming in there to play football. So at the end of the day, where I was irritated with this game, this wasn't a bad game. What this showed me was that, hey, we don't have to be clicking on all cylinders to win the game. We can find a way. And that's what you have to have as a number one team. You have to be able to, when you're in a dirty, grimy game and it's not going the way that you're accustomed to, your offense isn't performing or your defense isn't performing, you have to find areas within that game to win. And that's exactly what the Ducks did.
Yeah, they definitely showed up, on defense. They did their job on defense. I mean, the first drive, obviously, you don't want to see a team marching down the field, take a time off the clock, and then your response is, a punt, 3 plays and you're out. But following that up, they showed up huge, defensively and offensively. They drove that ball right down the field and scored like it was nothing. And immediately we realized that the Oregon Ducks were still the Oregon Ducks, right?
No doubt
I like
about
to,
it.
like going to your point with, you win ugly games. If you can win the ugly games, you can win the pretty games. And more importantly, you got to figure out how to win the ugly games when it's muddy,
Yeah.
when it's nasty, when things aren't going well. You practice all week and it's like, man, this was working perfectly just 2 days ago. Why aren't we clicking? Right.
Yeah.
But what I like to call this is a 10-0 checkup. 10-0 checkup. Right.
Okay.
You want to go in there, pull the car into the garage, check the engine light, check all the things that's going on that are not working. Like the 12 penalties, right?
Yeah.
The first 2 games of the season, we had penalty issues. All right. So what was that like? What did that feel like? Let's not do that again. Okay. We've
You
been
can't
there.
take steps backwards. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't go backwards. You can't go forward and then go backwards. That's just not going to work.
Yeah, but it's a good reality check, at 10-0, 7-0
No doubt about it.
conference, and it's against Maryland. You got Wisconsin coming up, so just get your mind right. Just ain't nothing wrong with a little self evaluation.
No,
Ain't nothing wrong
listen,
with
you should
humbling
always
yourself.
self-evaluate. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes you got to eat some humble pie. You know what this kind of reminded me of, Stu? Not reminded me of, but watching this game in the early stages of the game, I think they took this team for granted.
They did.
I think they thought they were just going to come in here and these boys would roll over and they was going to a big victory. That's what it looked like. It was so sloppy in the beginning of that game. It was uncharacteristic of this team the way that they played in the beginning of this game. The penalties, just lackadaisical. It just there didn't seem to be a level of focus from terrible punts to not being able to execute on offense to allowing Maryland just to drive the ball up. It was just a lot to where where you look at this game, you're like, oh, you guys took this team for granted. You guys you thought it was going to be easy. And again, it's a wake-up call. And every day you got to play ball. You got to show up each and every day. You can't take a team for granted. You can't take a team lightly, especially being in this Big Ten conference. And now moving forward, as you get closer and closer to these playoffs, you can't afford to have this. You can't afford to have these kind of mental lapses. You can't afford to have these setbacks you can't afford to continue to take steps backwards.
Yeah. When you play Foursquare back in elementary school?
Take me back and talk to me.
So that one kid that just always dominating, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was probably you that was dominating all the time.
I was on that tetherball court, boy.
Tetherball too. Let's talk tetherball. Tetherball is the real deal. Okay? Let's talk tetherball.
These kids if there's kids watching this right now, they don't know what tetherball is. It ain't even around no more. They're like, these old boys up off here. What are they? What's tetherball, Mom?
Go study, youngster. The tetherball, you be going through everybody. Go about 20 people in a row, right? And you winning, just dominating. And then you get your chance, right? You know that you're going to get that person's best shot. So you can't be coming in there thinking that you're just going to roll over the 21st person. Okay?
Yeah.
Because you are undefeated. So you're going to get everybody's best shot from here on out, fella. Okay? You're 10-0. You played somebody that was trash. You were supposed to beat them, but you was going to get their best. And their best shot didn't matter. It didn't count. It didn't work out for them. But when you do play somebody that got enough heat,
boy,
you better be ready to cook.
Oh, chef, you better get ready, huh? You better get ready
to cook.
Maryland tried to pull a Oregon on Oregon. And why I say that is they bust out the new uniforms, the all whites, and listen, it was crispy.
Nah, I don't like it. I ain't like it.
I liked them. I ain't gonna lie to you. I liked them. I see them up close and personal. I said, okay. And so I said, oh, they trying to storm Eugene. That's what that was the idea. It had to be.
Yeah,
and so listen,
drizzling.
I said, no, I wasn't even drizzling. I said that storm ran out of rain before it touched down. That storm ran out of rain, baby.
I can't stand the rain.
It's my window. I can't stand the rain. They don't know about that, Missy. Come on, Stu. We giving our age away. We giving our age away. But listen, let's
take
get
your
back.
drizzle back to Maryland.
Y'all tried to storm Eugene and ran out of rain. Okay, the storm dried out before it hit. The storm never touched land.
Yeah.
It never hit land. Crazy.
Let's
Anyway,
not wait till the water runs dry.
okay.
We might watch your whole life pass us by. Waiting on a win against Oregon. Don't do it.
It never came. Never came. So listen, what'd you feel about Dan queuing up these trick plays, these fakes? I loved it,
I loved it.
especially the fake punt return. Well, not the fake punt return, but the fake punt.
Mm-hmm.
That's what special teams is for.
Yeah.
For those people who don't truly, again, look when they did it, I went back to the Mike Bellotti days. Special teams be special.
Mm-hmm.
That's what special teams are for. For those, special teams is not just a phase of the game to exchange the ball, to kick, to punt it, or to kick it. Special teams is meant to change momentum in games. When there needs to be a momentum shift, that's what special teams are for. And that play with Jordan Birch was absolutely necessary because nothing was really going for Oregon at that particular point in time. It was a back and forth fest of punting the ball. So it was perfect timing. I love the call. And I love the trust that they have in this unit. I love the trust that they have in this team. You know, again, to call that where that ball was located on the 20-yard line, it takes some courage to be to do something like that. So I loved it. I loved how he called this game from a kind of trick play standpoint, fake and all that. I loved it.
Yeah, this is that type of game too, to do all those types of things, right? Where it's a home game and your team is going through a lot. Trying to, stay on top of things, trying to keep their minds in it. And especially when you're playing a team that's inferior to you, it sometimes can be more so of a struggle against yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're playing against yourself. And when a coach realizes, all right, they need a little extra help. Let me go ahead and ignite the special button. Because what those plays do is it gives players trust. I don't know about you, Kenjon. When you start running plays that you've been running for the whole entire season, wondering when and if you're going to run them in a game, and the coach actually calls those plays,
you get excited, boy.
You get excited, and you're saying, "Okay, excited. So we running these plays for real."
Yeah.
Okay.
1000%.
So now, your bond is growing closer and closer to your coach. So kudos to Oregon for just building that chemistry.
You said this is the kind of game where you use those kind of plays, but this is also the kind of game where you don't use those kind of. It shouldn't be necessary.
Shouldn't be necessary. Yes,
shouldn't be
But
necessary.
when you have to bring up, but when you have to go into the stockpile,
yeah,
it's there.
You want to make sure they work, and they there and they work. But this game, again, those plays were 1000% necessary for Oregon to win this game and come out the way that they did. Because again, it was a sloppy game. Nothing was going. Offense wasn't clicking. Defense was doing their thing. But altogether, all in all, it just wasn't a performance that Oregon, that we've been accustomed to seeing from Oregon throughout this season.
Yeah.
What was your favorite play from this game?
I'd say the Jordan Birch sack.
Get out my kitchen.
I mean, it was the igniter of the game for us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just knowing that we hadn't had Jordan Birch for a period of time during the season, and knowing that he's there, it's like when your dad shows up to to your school, right? You're getting bullied and picked on, and your dad show up. Like, I told you my dad was gonna come.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad would beat up your dad. So basically, Jordan Birch, is Maryland's daddy.
I beat a pappy. I beat a pappy.
I had to bet. I had the baby's Pepe. And so yeah, man. The Jordan Birch, sack fumble, and then the recovery there was exactly, what we needed for this game. I mean, you take that play away, you take the trick play away for the score. This game is a different game.
It's a completely different game.
What about you, sir?
I'm gonna stick right there with Jordan Birch. I'm going with the fake punt. You see him on defense. You know what I'm saying? You see how powerful he is. You see the speed that he comes off the edge with. You see the aggression. You see it all. But to see him with the ball in his hand and see the finesse, see the ability to stop his feet, get his feet going, to see the ability to get his legs out the way from guys diving at him, trying to make an ankle tackle, then to see the speed for him to get 36 yards down the field, I was so impressed by that. I was up in the booth with Jake and Jeff, and all of us are literally double taking, trying to figure out who in the hell is that running this ball? Like, who is that? Then we're like, that's Birch? That's Birch?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So for me, that was the play of the game.
Yeah.
For all the reasons I just listed. You're accustomed to seeing him dominate from the defensive side of the ball, but to see that big I'm gonna give him 300.
Yeah.
I know it says
300 pounds.
Yeah, to see him move listen, these kids today are completely different.
Yeah.
They're freaks. These kids are freaks these days.
Aliens.
Man, they not from here. Not from here. I couldn't imagine. You know who I don't even want to. I'm gonna do it. Greg Hardy, freak of nature.
Yeah,
complete freak of nature. And for those of you who don't know who Greg Hardy is, Greg Hardy was a defensive end for the Carolina Panthers, whose potential was crazy, and he was a freak of nature. Greg Hardy was about 6'5", 6'6", maybe about 285, 290, but could line up at gunner and go tackle the punt returner. Could line up. The Greg Hardy, let me tell you something about Greg Hardy. In Carolina, I would get used. They would take me out the backfield, put me out wide. Greg Hardy, we're in training camp. Greg Hardy comes out with me. He has me man to man. I'm like, oh, I'm about to roast this dude. I have a go ball. Now, at this point in time, I'm running 4.3, right? Cam Newton snaps that ball. I take off. I get about 30 yards down the field. Greg Hardy's about 2 or 3 yards behind me.
Breathing down your
Oh,
neck.
no. I said, oh, this is different. You're not supposed to be right here. This is different.
Yeah.
But when I look at Jordan Birch and I see him do the things that he does, he's a freak. He's a freak of nature. And I can't wait to see that kid play on Sundays.
I can tell you one thing. If I'm an NFL scout and I watch that play and that play alone, well, really, if I just watch this game and this game alone, I mean, the sack fumble dominated it. And then this fake punt, he's running like a running back. And he's 6'6", 300 pounds. Sign him up, please. I want him on my team.
300. Okay.
Carolina
300.
Panthers.
And listen,
we need a pass rusher.
they need a whole lot. No,
go ahead and get that.
Hold on. Y'all need a whole lot.
We need a pass rusher.
They need a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna start with that.
They need a lot. And speaking of scouts, they were there. I was down on the field pregame. You had the Green Bay Packers there. I think I seen the Cincinnati Bengals there. I was talking to one of the administrators, and they had scouts at practice, and there's 22 guys on this roster that are considered prospects. That's something Oregon had. That's what a scout said. Yo, you guys have 22 guys that we're looking at. Wow. Insane.
That's insane.
Shout out to Dan Lennig, okay?
Savage. Dan the Savage.
Dan the Savage. DTM. Now, Stu, let's go ahead and get into some flock talk, man. It's been a little bit since we did that.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and jump this one off, starting with a very sweet note from Robin Bowling 9833. I love you guys together. I don't know why I haven't found ducks of a feather before now, but you're on my list now. I'm a 70-year-old grandma who watched both of you play, 30-year season ticket holder. In my mind, no one can talk about the Ducks better than former players, and you two are knowledgeable and darn fun. Thank you.
That made my heart melt.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm going to call you Grandmama. Thank you, Grandmama.
Grandma.
I appreciate you, okay?
Grandma Robin.
Grandma Robin.
You know, I really enjoy this podcast too. You know, it's real late right now, but you know, I wouldn't wish to be anywhere else but on this call virtually with you.
Right here, right now. The feeling is mutual, okay? People, listen, understand this. For me, and I know it's the same for both of us, being able to do this with each other, this is for real my brother. This is for real. I look up to this dude. I love this dude. I admire this dude. This dude was there for me in some of my darkest of days, some of my happiest of days. This dude cried with me when I got traded from Carolina, when I was boo-hooing like a baby.
Yeah.
You know, like this is for real my brother. So this interaction that we have, this is nothing but a little brother and a big brother being able to talk as if it's just us. So, we enjoy this just as much as you guys do. So to get the feedback that we get from you guys, it's greatly appreciated, and know that we love this just as much as you do.
Yeah, man. Same. Feelings are mutual as always. As always, brother.
As always, man. Yeah. You want this next one?
Yeah, let me see what that next one talk about.
Go ahead, do your thing, man.
Legendary status aside, why the hell do you have a Christmas tree and stockings up, Kenjon? It's November 8th.
Listen.
Why?
Listen.
Let's talk about it. What's going on in your living room, brother?
First of all, I love Christmas. Let's get that out the way. Let's get that understood. Christmas is the best holiday season. Okay. We can slide. The only thing I want from Thanksgiving is a sweet potato pie. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's it.
That's it.
We can buy.
I don't want to see nothing else on your plate, then. Hey, family, Barner family, do not feed Kenjon anything else but sweet potato pie on Thanksgiving.
And listen, and I would annihilate it and go to bed as if I had turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce, baked mac and cheese, all the good stuff. And I don't eat turkey. I eat Cornish hen. Okay.
Okay. Cornish hen.
Yeah. But listen, that was not my home, first and foremost. That was one of my best friend and his wife's home, Andrew and Caitlin. That was their home, okay? And then
Andrew and Caitlin, we got some talking to do.
You
supposed to put that tree up after Thanksgiving, girl.
Put it up now. Had me thinking I'm ready for a Christmas tree. Yeah, so that's what
I got a question for you, KB. Real Christmas tree or fake Christmas tree?
Real. We don't have to go don't even ask the second part of that question. You should know this. You took me to go get a real Christmas tree.
Yes, I sure did. I sure did.
We put it on top of the Audi.
Yeah, you had all kind of like tree particles all over my car. Had sap all over my paint. Had some scratches on the back of my car.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Now you're adding extra.
Yes, I had scratches all over
on it. You want to tell me a real car story?
All about that, bro.
You remember when I made you wreck your car? No, do you remember when I made you wreck your car in the Krispy Kreme donut drive-thru?
Bro, hey, do we need to do this right now? Story time.
Story time with KB and J Stu.
So we are in training camp, and we have a night where we have about an hour to go, get something to eat, hang out before we have curfew. And we go to Krispy Kreme Donuts. It's a ritual, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, it is.
So instead of going inside, we went through the drive-through. I think we were coming from Wild Wings.
The chicken wing spot.
Yeah, we was coming from Wild Wings.
Out there in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
And I said, Kenjon, don't you get in my car over there. Be mindful of that tree. Be mindful of that tree. When you park in a parking spot. I
walked through the spider web.
Yeah, this man walked through the spider web. I said, Kenjon, don't you get in my car with that spider on you. And he like, bro, ain't no spider on me, dog.
Ain't no spider on me. Now we gonna pause right there. Let's pause right there for a second and understand this, people. The two of us are not who you want around if a spider is around.
Yeah, I ain't no Spider-Man. Literally,
no,
I'm Jonathan.
We're not. We're not.
I'm not Spider-Man.
Don't do spiders, okay?
And so I said, don't you get in my car with that spider. He like, man, ain't no spider on me. I said, all right. So we pull up to Krispy Kreme Donuts. And lo and behold, Kenjon over there freaking out.
Listen.
What you do, bruh?
We sit in the passenger seat now. We're going to set the stage. And the car in front of us is Mike Tolbert
and
D'Angelo Williams and his Harley Davidson F-150.
Yeah.
We're behind him in Stu's Q7, if I remember correctly, the Audi.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sitting in the passenger seat and I don't have long hair at the time and my neck is tickling me. Yeah. I'm like, what is
this?
And I go to, what is this? I go to move and when I slap, it's on my sweater. I scream. I said, oh, spider.
And I'm in the driver's seat.
He's in the driver's seat. Jonathan Stewart jumps out
Jumps
the
out
car
of the car
while the car is in
drive. It is not in park, ladies and gentlemen.
We both jump
I
out
jump out of that car. My car rolls up on
and smack
D'Angelo's
D'Angelo
truck.
Williams. Listen, this was the funniest night that I had up until this point because you got two grown men
Yeah.
both ejecting out of the car in opposite directions while the car
is moving.
Look, Fozzie's in the back seat screaming, "Hey, hey, I'm in!"
The car's moving. The car's moving. Oh man! But look, I got back in the car, slammed on the brake. My ankle was already jacked up from playing football. I heard it even more. I was in bad shape, ladies and gentlemen. Do
Oh my
not
God.
walk into a spider web thinking that you ain't got no spiders on you, and then try to get in a person's car that's afraid of spiders. But the fact that you went through a spider web and you were afraid of spiders after I done told you not to go through that.
Okay, listen. How many times do you walk through a spider web?
This is what happens when you being hard headed and you don't listen.
Crazy. You are not talking to your kids. Okay.
I told you not to go through that.
Let's get back to work.
Let's get back to people's car.
Did nobody tell you to jump out with your car and drive?
Listen,
Crazy.
don't nobody listen. I don't know. I should have stayed in the car. You're right about that.
Yes,
I should have stayed in the car.
The spider was on me, not on you.
I should have put it in park. I should have known the spider was in the car. I should have just trusted my instincts. Hey, we in drive-through park.
I'm hot. We got to move on. I'm hot.
Hey,
hot.
Kenjon, you check to see that spider on you.
I'm good. Ain't nothing on me. Sure enough, he definitely was. Listen, okay, next up from the Dutchman 1980 writes, story time. I worked for Discount Tire in Eugene. When Stewart got drafted right after his last Duck game, he bought a brand new black H2 Hummer and had it delivered to our shop, bolted on a set of 30-inch chrome wheels. And then he picked it up and was out. LOL, cool memories. You know what? I remember that Hummer.
Mm-hmm.
That Hummer was parked in the garage right there off of, what was that, 5th Street? No, that wasn't 5th. Was that 5th? Yeah. I remember that Hummer.
Yeah.
I remember that thing.
Yeah, a little H2 black Hummer, you know what I'm saying?
Sitting on them chrome feet, huh?
Yeah, them chrome feet, it was like that chrome and black, mixed. It was like where it was like patterned black, chrome, black, chrome, black. Yeah, man, that was my first purchase. And, I used that truck to put all my clothes from college, and I shipped it to North Carolina. So it was a great purchase, man, because I was able to, utilize it as, as a trailer, a U-Haul, so to speak. But, no, man, I remember, man, I had Andre Crenshaw roll up there with me, and it was just one of those good feelings of like, man, I made it. Got my truck, a dream car.
When did you get rid of that truck? Because you had it my rookie year.
I had it until 2019. I sold it and got a GMC Denali extended back. Thinking to myself, oh, I'm a family man now. And that lasted for about a year, and I got a truck. So yeah, man. Dutch man, I'm glad you remember that, man.
I got selective memory.
So now it's time to duck and dive into the archive. So when the Ducks played Wisconsin in the 2012 Rose Bowl. Okay. Darren Thomas. So who was that?
Shout out to DT. Oh, that's
you,
Mr. KB24. Yeah, that's KB24 himself. Okay, with David Paulson lead blocking, taking me down the field. Carson York in the building. Ronis Grasu.
It must be really nice to be that fast.
It is.
12 could have tackled you.
No, he couldn't.
And he just didn't even try.
No, the angle is, don't be deceived. He wasn't that close.
Let's see. Number 12, what you looking at, dog? You could have dived right there. He could have dived and pushed you out of bounds. He had money on the game.
He had money?
Yeah, money on the game, dog. I'll tell you this. That was a nice pass, though. DT. That boy was true.
Shout out to Darren Thomas. DT don't get enough respect among the greats at Oregon. DT did his thing, and really, he won a whole lot of football games while he was there. But listen, that game, Stu, was so intense
Mm-hmm.
You had Russell Wilson. You
Russell
had
Wilson.
you had Monty Ball. You had James White. You had Jared Abadares. Do you remember that at receiver? You had
Yeah.
Nick Toon. They had a squad. They had a whole squad, man. It was such a back and forth game. It was a high scoring game. We couldn't stop them. They couldn't stop us. And it was really going to be who had the ball last. Kiko Alonso making big plays, Michael Clay making big plays on all of them on defense. DeAnthony Thomas. Let's talk about what he did. That boy had 2 carries for 155 yards.
Yeah, you can't tackle a blur. You know that, right? You
That don't
can't
even make
tackle a
sense.
blur.
He had like a 91-yard run and then had another crazy long run. It was like again, the Muhammad Ali quote: "Your hands can't hit what your eyes can't see." And boy,
Mhm.
that boy was blazing.
Yes.
I remember LT. LT had 8 catches for like 150 yards. It was a beautiful game, and
It was
obviously
exciting
us.
watching you guys that year, man, because, you know, being in the league, being in locker rooms, guys be talking and talking about their schools and all that. And back then, Oregon wasn't getting no respect at all.
Yeah, yeah.
And, it was just dope to always be able to turn the TV on and know that we was going to score some points.
Listen, we was gonna put them up. We was gonna put
Yeah.
them up and double up. Let me tell you how disrespectful DeAnthony was. One day we're in practice, we going back and forth with the defense. And somebody said something to him. It might have been Dior Mathis or somebody. And we on the sideline, and DeAnthony stopped and looked at him. He was like, "Y'all not even worth me running my fastest. I don't run out here." In my mind, I felt like he disrespected me. I said, "Well, damn. If you don't run your fastest and it look like that, and I'm out here running my fastest, what does your fastest really look like?"
Yeah.
It was so disrespectful. It was, and nobody could say nothing
Yeah.
because everybody was like,
Well, he is faster than everybody.
"Listen, I watched DeAnthony go through spring ball practice and the same day go out run a 10, 3, and 100 and win a race with no
Wow.
track practice. With no track practice."
Did he have spikes on at least?
DeAnthony, can you run? No, he ran barefoot. Yeah, listen.
I once saw
shout out.
DeAnthony Thomas outran a dog.
Listen, DeAnthony Thomas will outrun a whole lot of things, a whole lot of animals, people. That boy, a different type. He's a different breed of fast. What they say in what is it, Gridiron Gang? He's so fast, he make fast people look slow. Yeah, that's DeAnthony. But shout out to that 2011, 2012 team in that Rose Bowl getting that dub. Now, Stu, since we talked about that Rose Bowl, let's jump into Wisconsin this weekend. It's going to be one heck of a game traveling up out there to Madison. We're going to go watch they fans get in there and do they jump around, but we're going to make them sit down.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
Yeah, you see what I did?
Yeah,
There ain't going to be too much
that's
jumping
nice.
around. Y'all going to sit down. It ain't going to be too much, okay? Y'all jumping around ain't going to last long, okay? You have a seat. Sit down, because that's what's going to happen this weekend. But I will say this. Oregon going on the road to Wisconsin, obviously weather not being too much of a bother. It's supposed to be 55 degrees, I think, with 13 mile per hour wind. I'm glad that weather is not coming into play because I wouldn't know what this game would look like if Oregon was going to play in some snow. That's one thing I'm extremely happy about. We have not had to really experience Big Ten elements. And Wisconsin is one of those places where elements could come into play. So without that, I don't think this game looks this game doesn't look anything like Wisconsin fans probably believe it will. I think we're going to go out there, handle business, blow them out. This is a team that likes to run the ball. This is a team that we're going to have to dominate. I think it's kind of a revolving thing as we go throughout these past couple of weeks. We got to control the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. Our defense has to continue to be who they are, continue to stop the run, because that's what Wisconsin wants to do. They want to run the ball. They want to play power football. They got them huge offensive linemen over there. So this is going to be a great matchup, and we're really going to be tested up front. So I'm excited to see that. What you think?
I'm right there with you. I think our defense has been strong all year. Up front, our core 7. They've been playing ball all year. So just being able to go into this game with that confidence alone, I feel confident along with them. And they do want to run the ball. They do have a stout running back. But if we can make them one-dimensional to where, we get them to where they're getting 2, 3 a pop, we don't want them to get anywhere near those 4s, right? Because then they start converting, getting them to where they have to depend on their quarterback, who's a backup. He's just a guy. So, a jag. So make sure you treat him like a jag.
When did you become so disrespectful?
Hey, man, we talking about Oregon Duck football, baby.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, say it like
yeah.
you mean it then. Don't let me stop you. Don't let me stop you. Yeah, let me get out your way. Let me let you cook, boy. Let me let you cook. Let me get out this kitchen.
But at the end of the day, man, look, Big Ten has been put on. We got to put them on notice. You know what I'm saying? Like,
not put them on notice. They've been on notice.
They've been on notice. And the continued effort. And I think Oregon just has to understand you're going into an environment, and you got to make sure you dress up for the environment, which means you can't go in there thinking that you're just gonna win the game because you're 10-0. What 10-0 means, you got a big target on your back. You're gonna get everyone's best. This is gonna be Braden's, opportunity to show the world that he can play quarterback, and that he can, strike when the opportunity is there. So defense has to be ready. And then on the offensive side of the ball, we got to be able to run the ball. If we can run the ball, that secondary is really nice in the pass game, but we know what secondary don't want to do. They don't want to tackle.
Boys don't want to tackle.
So
I was speaking about the running game. I thought it was interesting that Noah had more carries than Jordan James in this past week's game.
Yeah, there might be an injury. There might be an injury going on right there. They're trying to manage, especially with it being close to the end of the season. You want to make sure you have your boss dog, healed up, ready to go.
That'll be something interesting going forward in this game. And to add to that, this will be the second week in a row where Oregon is facing a team coming off a bye week. So with Wisconsin coming off this bye, they'll then have 2 weeks to prepare for Oregon. So again, a night game out there in Madison, a team that's had 2 weeks to prepare for you. It's going to be interesting. And we'll see how this team handles it, how they go out there. Do they take care of business? Do they come out the same way that they came out this past weekend? Because here's the thing. You can't treat Wisconsin like Maryland. Because if you allow Maryland to hang around, not Maryland, I'm sorry. If you allow Wisconsin to hang around the way you did Maryland, I think you could be facing a completely different outcome because this is a completely different team. Now, speaking of Braden Locke, he's going to cough it up. He's going to give it up. Boy has 8 touchdowns with 8 interceptions. He's going to give our guys an opportunity at the ball. So we're really going to have to be on our P's and Q's. We're really going to have to be sharp, and we're going to have to overcome that initial surge that Wisconsin is going to come with. We're going to have to quiet this fan base down immediately. We got to take the crowd out of the game, and we got to play Oregon football. We have to be penalty-free, 1,000% penalty-free on the road. It's a night game. Listen, this game has all of the writings, all of the makings of being a night game out there. This team having 2 weeks to prepare for you. There's a lot. So I'm really hoping, and I know they will be, Dan will have these guys locked in, and they'll come in and take care of business the way that they need to.
Yeah, Dan Lanning is the reason. He's the difference between a Miami football team that loses to Georgia Tech and Oregon Ducks that, doesn't play their best game, but still wins very convincingly to a Maryland team. No, I have no doubt in my mind that he'll have these guys ready in the same fashion as they play Wisconsin. But I got a dad joke for you. You ready for this? Why don't Badgers ever want to play football with Ducks?
Because they can't fly.
Because every time they huddle, the Ducks just quack up. Every time they huddle, the Ducks just quack up. Isn't that good? Ain't that good?
It's not good. No, it's not good. What?
But it is.
Listen, you need to get out the house, okay?
Man, look.
I need you to get out the house.
Man, tell that joke to your kids, man. They'll laugh.
Listen, as soon as we finish, I'm gonna go tell my youngest boy, I'm gonna go tell him the joke, and I'm gonna see what he say.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna see what he say.
He gonna be
You-
like,
You need to spend
That-
time with some older people.
he
You
gonna
need-
be like
you
this.
Need some friends.
He gonna be like this.
Oh, it's a knee slap. And on that note, we're gonna wrap this thing up. Okay, that's all we got time for. It's been fun. We enjoyed this. We hope that you enjoy it. Stu, I love you.
I love you too, dog.
And as always, remember, ducks of a feather flock together.